Are you wondering what to pack in your carry-on luggage? There are specific rules for carry-on when traveling by air. It is important to review and adhere to the latest guidelines to ensure a smooth and hassle-free travel experience. Let's take a look. Liquid, aerosols, and gels. The TSA enforces the 3-1-1 rule for carrying liquids, aerosols, and gels in your carry-on baggage. Each passenger is allowed to bring a quart-sized clear plastic bag containing containers that are 3.4 ounces or less per item. Prescription medications, essential non-prescription medication, and baby formula or breast milk are allowed in quantities exceeding the usual 3.4 ounce limit. Inform the security officer about these items during the screening process. Liquids purchased from airport duty-free shops after the security checkpoints are generally allowed in your carry-on baggage. However, it's advisable to check with the specific airport and airline regulations as they may have their own restrictions. Electronics and gadgets. Laptops, tablets, and other large electronic devices need to be removed from your bag and placed in a separate bin during the screening process. Ensure they are easily accessible to facilitate inspection. Mobile phones and smartwatches can typically remain in your bag during security screening. However, larger models or multiple devices may need to be placed in a bin for X-ray screening. Portable chargers or power banks are allowed in both carry-on and checked baggage. However, they must be removed from your bag during security check and screened separately. Generally, small electronic devices like e-readers, headphones, and portable gaming consoles are allowed in your carry-on baggage. However, it's recommended to double-check the TSA guidelines for any specific requirements or restrictions. Personal care and hygiene items. Disposable razors, cartridge razors, and safety razors without removable blades are generally permitted in your carry-on baggage. However, straight razors or razor's blade are not allowed. Travel-sized toiletries such as toothpaste, shampoo, and lotions are allowed within the 3.4 ounce limit. Solid cosmetics like lipstick or powder-based makeup are generally allowed, but larger quantities may need to be screened separately. Nail clippers and tweezers are usually permitted in your carry-on baggage. However, it's advisable to check the specific regulations as some countries or airlines may have their own restrictions. Items such as contact lens solution, inhalers, and insulin are allowed in both carry-on and checked baggage. Inform the security officer about necessary medical or personal care items during screening. Food and beverages. Solid food items such as sandwiches, fruits, and snacks are generally allowed in your carry-on baggage. However, some countries may have restrictions on fresh produce or meat products. It's advisable to consume perishable items before landing or check specific regulations in advance. Beverages purchased beyond the security checkpoint or previously screened at the TSA checkpoints are allowed in your carry-on bag. Sporting goods and equipment. Certain sporting goods are allowed in both carry-on and checked baggage, while others may be restricted. For example, golf clubs, baseball bats, and hockey sticks are typically allowed in the checked baggage, but it's best to check with your airline for specific guidelines. Firearms and ammunition are subject to strict regulations and are generally not allowed in carry-on baggage. If you need to travel with firearms, they must be declared to the airlines and packed in accordance with their guidance. Most tools such as screwdrivers, wrenches, and pliers are not allowed in carry-on baggage due to their potential use as weapons. It's advisable to pack them in checked baggage or ship them to your destination separately. One common lighter or a book of safety matches is allowed in carry-on baggage. However, lighter fuel and torch lighters are generally not permitted. If you are carrying gifts or souvenirs, it's recommended to pack them in your checked baggage to avoid any potential issues during security checks. Liquids and fragile items should be packed securely to prevent damage. Additional considerations. A TSA PreCheck is a program that provides expedited screening for eligible passengers. It allows you to keep your shoes, belts, and light jackets on and leave laptops and liquids in your carry-on bag. To participate, you need to apply and complete a background check. Global Entry is a US Custom and Border Protection program that includes TSA pre-check benefits. It provides expedited clearance for pre-approved, low-risk travelers when entering the United States. Enrollment and a background check are required. Congratulations, you made it! Navigating through security check with a carry-on does not have to be a stressful experience. By following these tips and being prepared, you can breeze through the security checks with ease. Safe travels! And for more useful videos like these, subscribe to my YouTube channel, My Travel on a Dime, right now.